So I recently picked this thing up on Facebook Marketplace. Now, I picked this thing up for $1,000. I thought that was a ripper of a deal. And it comes with a 4-in-1 bucket and a log splitter. Now, the story I got told with it is, I didn't get all that much information, but he said the motor is no good. He recently had something done with the hydraulics and then the engine blew. Now, these normally don't bugger up these motors. It virtually comes down to if he's run it out of oil or lack of maintenance. And if you can tell by the bottom in there, it looks like it's been run out of oil, but I wonder what it's got in it. Oh yeah, look at that. So it's full of water by the looks of it. I don't know how long this thing was sitting for, but when I'd got it, it had grass up top of the tyres and what, so I'd say quite a long time. But I was just going to go ahead and order a motor straight for it. Like, these are very simple machines. Like, I was just going to jump. You can get a new motor complete with the key and everything for about $1,000. So I didn't mind putting a little bit of money into it because I got it so cheap. But I really want to check if the hydraulics and everything work before I go ahead and spend some money on it. So we might have to try and drain that oil and put a little bit of oil in it just to fire it up and just see if everything works. But it's only got 2,100 hours on it. Whether that works or not, I don't know, but it's got, judging by a few other things on the machine, the pins aren't worn in the front, so it's quite a low hour machine for one of these. The fuel tank's dead dry. It does come with the air filter, so he must have had to play around with it. That sort of sits in there like that or something. But just try yanking on that hose. Oh yep, there we go. Oh, it looks like it's loose at that end anyway. That's probably why it's leaked all the oil out of it. I'd say yep, because oil's dripping now. Oh no, that's water. All right, we'll drain what we can drain out of it, and then we'll put some, I've got some old engine oil there, we'll just slap that in it and see if we can get it running. That is straight water. It even looks like it's got brand new tyres on the back. Like, the front ones are real low, but the back one, besides being flat, they're both near new. Geez, that must have literally been full of water. Before I go putting oil back in it, I'm going to check if the motor even turns over, because if it's seized up, I could probably pull these bolts off and try and break it free. I'd really just like to test if the hydraulics work. If we can make it run for even a minute or two, just to check everything, I'd really prefer to do that. Got a missing fuse. Well, we got power there. Oh, and it just blew the fuse. I wonder why it's doing that. I might just get a bit of wire and we'll just bridge that fuse block there. Alright. No, I think the starter motor's burnt out. I think the starter motor's burnt out because that is hot. That one's loose. I definitely reckon that's why the engine's buggered up. That's all engine oil. And on the side of this tube, I could probably pull it off if I wanted. And it's just leaked all the engine oil out. And it's hurt the motor. There is these rags in here. Whether they've just fallen in there over time or what they're off. But that all cleaned up pretty good. Now let's go tear into that motor. Well, we've immediately found the problem. There's no piston in there anymore. There's the end of the rod there. Yeah, there's no saving this one. I'm going to put that down to lack of maintenance because he hasn't checked the oil enough. It's probably leaked out that drain tube over a period of time till there's nothing left, and it's just ran dry and it's gone catastrophic. There's no pistons, there's no rods. If you can see in there, there's only one rod on the crank. So the other one's probably all in the bottom of the casing, and I don't really know if I can be bothered pulling it down just to see it. It'd be cool, but what we'll do now is we'll jump on eBay and just see if we can get a cheap Chinese one. I actually don't even know what horsepower this is, so I'll probably, oh no, there's a sticker there. That is all faded, so I can't see there. It's going to be around the 20-25 horsepower, so let's see what we can find. Couldn't help myself, had to pull the bottom off, but look at the carnage in the bottom. That looks like a bit of piston there. Totally destroyed. What's that? Oh, we got a cap there. I'd say looks like the bolt's broken. Yep, that one's bent. We got bits of piston ring there. Whoop, flicked everywhere. More there, bits of rod. The bit I don't know is where's the actual rods gone? Oh, and up there, they're all in there. It's just munched it up. There's another bit of rod. Right. In the bin it goes. So the new motor came today. It's pretty much ready to run. Like, it has the key and everything on it. I'll probably take all this off and use the key that's on the machine. But it comes with a fresh new air filter. I think we'll have to change that and mount that up into the machine how it is factory, because your legs are going to sort of hit that. And also has this thing that sits on top. Has a nice big oil cooler on the side, which the other one didn't have. I just got some new hardware. I think the bottom of this casing is a little bit thicker than the original, so new bolts were needed with fresh nylocks. Touch of paint on them so they don't rust. So white goes to the cutoff. That's carby. That's still there. And then white to black. Alright, that's it. It looks like it's feeling well made. I don't want to crank it if you haven't got a wheel in it. Oh, well, that should be right. Just hangs out a lot further than it did. And I can move it forward on that engine plate. I'd have to re-drill the holes, but because the muffler's not going to fit now, the muffler's way too close there anyway. I'm going to have to cut it, I think. Yeah, that side's all right, but so with this muffler, we've got about 30mm here we can cut off. Even though this is a folded lip, we're going to have to cut it off and then just seam weld it all the way around. But I'm thinking it's going to have to go on some sort of an angle through there to just so we've got enough clearance with those hydraulic lines. Like, I don't want the exhaust heating them up more than they need to be. So let's I don't think I'll be able to get this in the cold saw. I think it's just going to be way too big. We'll just have to use the grinder, I think. So it pretty much fits in. The cut is a little bit on the wrong angle, but that's all right. On the bench, I actually thought that sat a little bit different, but the main thing is we got plenty of room here. So once we weld that, cap that and weld that back on, that should be fine. And I'm thinking more in the middle, somewhere here, the exhaust will drop out and May even come out the side here or somewhere. I welded round that as much as possible. If you can see in there, I did hole saw through that as well. So now we just got to cover up this end. And look at that, we've got heaps of room now. Oh, just missing a bolt in there, which is all right. And I'm thinking from this point here, it'll sort of either do an elbow and go out here, but I think that'll be the easiest route. But I'll have to put something on it because there's this hydraulic line here. Being a flexible line, I think that one is. Yep. So it's, if not, I might have to just drill a hole in the side of the body or something like that, and maybe even run it down from there out here. So I've just received the new coupler for this motor. Now, the original Kohler engine that's on the machine runs a tapered shaft, and you can see the overall length difference is not going to work with this new motor. So I've measured out, we're going to have to machine off 20 mil off this coupler. You can buy a different bell housing for the pump. Like if you see the pump here, that's the bell housing, that section. You can buy a longer one, but I'm just simply going to machine 20 mil off this, cut the shaft to suit, and that should be fine. It has got a grub screw there that'll push onto our keyway, which will hold it on, and I'll probably just put a little bit of Loctite on there so it doesn't vibrate loose. Put the new coupler on. Just quickly put some oil in it. Geez, there's not much room for this cable. Now the problem is the choke comes from this side, but yet it works from the throttle side. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get enough bend on this cable. I might. It's not really ideal. It puts it on a bit of a wicked angle, but it is only the choke. It's not like it's the throttle. So I wonder if that just go like that. So that should be choke all the way on, which it is, and then that should be throttle. We've just got to check the throttle because I can't, because it's a hard line cable, it's not. Oh no, that is bottomed out. Perfect. All right, I think we're ready to start it up for the first time. So I did pull that battery out. That was the one that came in it, and I was going to try and charge it up to see if it would get a little bit of charge back in it, but it's been sitting for that long. I gave up on that idea. I did have this other battery laying around, but the terminals are the wrong side and they're the wrong diameter. So I think we'll just chuck some jumper leads on here for now, and I'll have to get a proper battery for it later. I might put this air filter back on. The original one that was on it, that tucks here, used to wrap around and then go in, and there was a 90 degree that came out the top of the motor. But it hits the exhaust now, the original one, so we're gonna have to put this big one back here that your legs are gonna hit, which is kind of annoying. So we'll put that on for now, but down the track I'm gonna have to redesign that, or try and do something so your legs aren't just hitting it the whole time. Because originally on the back of this motor here, it had like a rubber thing, so your legs would hit on it and it would be comfortable if you're on like an incline or doing something with the machine. And I can't bolt that on now. I was going to cut this bracket off here and then sort of put two wales and sit the rubber bit back on so it was like it was originally, but it's sort of not going to work with that air filter on. But I think it went like that. You can see what I mean now by it's literally where your legs are, which is, it's kind of crap, but I don't know what to do. And then this face is up now, so water's literally just going to fall straight in that. That is just not ideal at all. I wonder, normally on the good quality ones of these filters, this end can rotate, and I'd be able to almost face that down or in there somewhere. And let's just quickly unscrew that. At least they give us, there's actually multiple holes in the end, so at least we can orientate it somewhat away. That's something like that I think would work, even though it's going to be sucking hot air in from there. But I wonder if I go like that, that way at least it's facing down and water's not going to get in it, I guess. You can't get that off now. Yep, yes I can. What? Well, let's stay closed. They don't. Like, how is it really that cheap and nasty? It won't shut. That one does. That one doesn't. I think it's going to be zip tie time. The two bottom ones work, but not the two top ones. Before I put fuel in it, I think we'll crank it over a few times just to bleed oil up in the oil cooler in the oil filter as well, and just check our oil level, because I did accidentally put a bit too much in. So I'm hoping once they're all full, it's roughly in the right spot. Take two. I'm going to need to get a new lid too. This one's totally split off, but it'll do for now. We're going to need another battery. It works. Just better check that oil. It's actually not as loud as I thought it was going to be. One thing I noticed straight away is it's operating quite slow, and this is your high speed here, I'm pretty sure. I pulled the thing off because it was all cracked and falling apart, the same as this one. Because this machine was pretty much a log splitter its whole life, that's why this one's all worn out and floppy. This one was cracked. So I might just get a screwdriver and pull that up and see if that makes it faster. There we go. All right, we'll hook our battery back up and just see if that's improved it. I reckon we could just sit this one in here temporarily. Look at that, nice angle. Can even use that terminal. Oh, look at that, terminals even reach. Nice. Don't even need the jumper leads now. Surprising how quiet it is, and it just fires straight up with the key. That's nice. Our throttle, I was a little bit worried about the throttle linkage in there, but that seems to, we get full throttle, full choke. Did just notice there's a big chip out of it there, if you can see that, and up there. The seal's not damaged at all, but it's not going to take long for that to tear up that seal. It's not burnt out or anything, but I think oil eventually squirt out there. I mean, it's dry, but not like the other side. The other side's a little bit wet, and so's that tilt cylinder there. But let's go test it out. I was going to dig up and level some dirt, but it's just way too boggy out here. I didn't want to get the thing stuck. But overall, it works really well. I'm quite happy with that cheap Chinese motor. It was a fourth of the cost of getting the proper Kohler engine for this. So with a little bit of work and mucking around, we got it to fit, and it works quite well. There are some other issues we've got to fix on the thing, like there's no cutting edge on the front of the bucket, nor is there one in the back jaws of the 4-in-1. These top pins here are also they're a bit sloppy, but there's no bushings in these, so it's more you got to make your own pin. I could like set these up in the mill and drill them out and put bigger bushings in them or something like that, but judging by how bad the bucket is, it's all worn in there. Like, do I get a new one, or do I just spend the time and fix this one? Because it also needs new hoses because they're on the blink of blowing. But other than that, there's a few cylinders leaking. That one, that tilt cylinder there, and this one, how it's got the damage. But again, if I was to get a new bucket, it's literally only one cylinder, and it might even be that fitting on the back now that I look there, because it's a little bit wet. But other things like it needs these rock guards tightened up, the chains need a little bit of tightening, because even though I haven't mentioned it, these have drive motors in the back, and then it runs a chain to the front wheels. So there's a sprocket in the front, and there's a couple big bolts down here that the whole front wheels pull forward. That's how you tighten and loosen the chains on it, which is not the best design, but these things go forever. Like the old Dingo 950s, they were the most popular machine when they first come out. Like, they got sent over to America and people loved them. So, and they're so simple, they never bugger up. As you see, this one's sat outside for God knows how long, and chuck a motor on it and it's ready to go. This I did notice this control valve, this flow divider here just started leaking, so we're probably gonna, it is a common problem with these. But when I do the maintenance on it, I want to pull these bushings out here, because it's very common for these to flog out in the back of the arm and you can't tell. So, and then I want to give it a full hydraulic service, and it should be pretty much ready to go back into service. We also want to get new front wheels, because they are like slicks, where the backs are actually still, they're like new.